Center yourself, Matt. Take 30 seconds to skip the ad in your mind.
Hello and welcome to This Is. We all love gaming. We all know gaming. But sometimes companies get a little sneaky. And the games that they give you are actually just one giant ad for something else.
Matt, are you trying to say that a piece of content that you consume is secretly an ad the entire time you didn't know? Wow, what a great segue to this video's sponsor, LTTstore.com.
No.
LTT Store. Oh,
no, they didn't give us a check. I asked them for a check, and they said, no, we're not interested in sponsoring. So don't give them free sponsorship. The first one is, in 1990, Yo Noid.
No, it's Yo Noid.
Noid. Do you know what the Noid is? The Noid is a pizza demon that was the mascot from Domino's. You know how like the Trix Rabbit is basically trying to get all the tricks? He's like, silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. He's trying to steal people's pizza, which, keep in mind, this was at a time when no one wanted to steal Domino's pizza. Domino's pizza during this time was cardboard, ketchup, and cheese-like product.
So in Japan, this was a normal platformer about ninjas. And essentially, they just turned what was a perfectly reasonable game and noided that shit up and turned it into Yo Noid. It included a $1 Domino's pizza coupon in the box.
So the boss fight included having a pizza eating contest, which I would have won hands down.
They literally just took a perfectly reasonable game, reskinned it for shilling purposes.
They retired the Noid in the early 90s after a whole scandal with a guy named Noid sticking up a Domino's because he thought Avoid the Noid was personally targeting him. That was a real thing that happened.
Maybe I could connect to this more if I had a deep personal relationship with the Noid.
How did you avoid the Noid much?
I went to the hut. That might be an advertisement gone amok. But you know what's even better than an advertisement gone amok? Not a segue to our next item, but a segue to please subscribe to This Is and ring the ding-a-ling button. Much like secret advertisement that are subliminally hitting you with comments and messages telling you to subscribe to This Is.
Next up, we have Pepsi Man.
Pepsi Man! Da-da-da-da-da-da-da, Pepsi Man!
So this was released in 1999 for the PlayStation. It was released only in Japan, but the entire game is in English and set in 3 different American cities.
This was a game that allowed you to take control of Pepsi Man to run on rail to avoid obstacles, to of course do the most important thing of all, deliver Pepsi to people who are thirsting to death, because otherwise why would you want to drink Pepsi when Coke exists?
There's also 3D cutscenes and videos of an American dude watching Pepsi Man while drinking Pepsi and eating pizza. Probably not Domino's pizza because the Noid was absent in this. I gotta say, it was actually a pretty fun game.
I want to play it now. This is actually so fun. I think a lot of the world is obsessed with Japanese culture, but go back to 1999 and this feels like Japan being obsessed with American culture. That would be like if today we played Boss Coffee Dude.
難しい。でも君はいい教師になる。缶コーヒーのボス、レインボーマウンテン。
While Pepsi might not be good, the next item is sure to surprise and delight.
WD-40 spray game. Before there was Power Washing Simulator, there was the WD-40 spray game.
This was a game that was only for members of the WD-40 fan club. What?
You know that Hank Hill would have had this. My favorite scene in any television is when Hank Hill, he's got like a door is loose. He pulls out a can of WD-40. The lid is a little stuck. He pulls out a smaller can of WD-40.
I just wonder like what the crossover of WD-40 users and gamers were in 2001. Because I feel that was probably a little bit of a disparate market.
So this here was considered like a piece of lost media up until somewhat recently. Because like,
people didn't archive the WD-40 spray game?
It's weird to say like this is like somewhat a piece of history because again, a lot of these games are on like the cusp of like where gaming leads to. Pepsi Man ran so Subway Surfer could surf.
Chex Quest! Okay,
this is
I've
the
heard
one. This is one of my favorite games of all time, and I say that unironically because like this was one of my first like video games for a PC. This is the first video game to ever be included in a box of cereal.
Essentially, it was a reskin of Doom.
So you played as Chex Warrior. He goes and kills Flemoids, not the Noids, who are alien invaders by teleporting them back to their home dimension.
What does Chex the breakfast cereal have to do with an alien dispatcher of gooey monsters?
It actually had like power up. They had multiple weapons that you could use. There was a spork, and this got actually 2 sequels, one in 1997 and one in 2008. It got remade in 2020.
You trying to tell me the Doom was not dripping in ambiance? Wait for it, Matt.
Chex Quest, one of the best games ever invented. Don't at me.
I won't.
'cause I will hit you with my spork.
Yes! I love you, Colonel Sanders. This was a Colonel Sanders themed dating sim. I'm so happy in like 11 different ways right now. So this is like the height of that sort of like meme dating sims era, although I would argue that Tax Simulator is actually the real height of the era.
So you have 3 days to do challenges and win the Colonel's affections.
You know what, Matt? We should go get some KFC. I think I need to go and
Ah.
show the Colonel some lovin'.
McDonald's Treasure Land Adventure.
Okay, can I just immediately say, this is the Sonic reskin, isn't it?
Yep. So this came out for the Sega Genesis in 1993 and was developed by Treasure. Ronald can shoot Hadoukens and grapple with his scarf.
Ronald doesn't have a scarf.
I would, if it was
Dude, I
sleeves,
sat on
like,
his lap
yeah.
a lot, and I never saw a scarf.
So this had some interesting Easter eggs, including putting in a certain password, which turns the entirety of the screen into a rotating 3D cube.
Would you like to see it?
I would love to see it. Can we see this right now?
I hate this.
Where's it going, Matt? I think I just got deprogrammed.
Yeah, that was really
Wow.
unsettling.
Cool spot. This is a 1993 game for the Sega Genesis and SNES. So this is the little dot from 7-Up, the red dot. He's got himself a skateboard, some cool shoes, and he's about to like grab you. He's like, eh. So this was so popular, it actually got a sequel, Spot Goes to Hollywood, which was not only 3D, but even ran on the PS1. In Europe, they actually removed the 7-Up branding because they think that the 7-Up mascot is Fido Dido, whatever that is.
Doritos Crash Course. In 2009, this was an entry to the Unlock Xbox event where people could develop their own Xbox Live arcade games.
And essentially, it was inspired by shows such as American Ninja Warrior to, you know, crash the course and eat Doritos or something. Oh my God. I regret my decisions deeply, and I'm sorry for bringing this upon us all.
I had so much Monster and Cool Ranch Doritos right here
You wasted time, Kyle?
because like it had me. I wasted so much time.
Like, whoa. Matt, where'd you come from?
I don't know. I went to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Tapper.
Wow, this
This
old
was
school.
all the way back down to 1983, where you serve fresh mugs of Budweiser to cowboys, sports fans, and space aliens if you're really good.
So this was meant to be placed in bars. So you can imagine that it was a very specific clientele who wanted to play the Budweiser-themed arcade cabinet.
There was also an unbranded, child-friendly version of Root Beer Tapper, which was made a year later in 1984.
This is 1983. That is 40 years ago. 4-0. I bet most of you were not alive 40 years ago. Do you remember when this game came out on your 30th birthday?
Hey. All right,
But that's it. I don't get a response for that one.
moving on. Sneak King.
Oh my God. You play as the king? Do you get to play as the king?
Burger King decided to rebrand their mascot as the most horrifying stone-faced burger nightmare. They decided, you know what? We need to have a game to go with it. In 2006, for Xbox and the Xbox 360, for a mere $4 with any meal, you got this game. Basically what you did, you play as the Burger King King, sneak around delivering Burger King meals in people's houses. Despite the fact that this thing had like bugs in it that would like completely break the game, this sold 2.7 million copies. It made it one of the top 10 best-selling games of 2006. Burger King sales increased by like 40%,
That's wild.
but almost all of it came from one dude who has over 2,700 copies of this game.
I respect a king who has a lot of copies of Sneak King.
Dude, if this was today, this would be 10 million copies. Everyone on Twitch would be playing this game.
Can I
don't
read
know.
you the back of this box?
Yeah.
Here's your chance to step into the royal shoes of the king and silently unleash your hot sandwiches on the hungry citizens of this famished world.
Do you remember the commercials when they had him where he was just like sitting in people's houses? The people in the commercials that Burger King commissioned and shot and edited, they were terrified of this mascot who's just like, sandwich.
Chase the Chuck Wagon.
Purina made this game in 1983 for the Atari 2600, and they would send you a copy if you redeemed proof of purchase with their Chuck Wagon dog food.
Whoa. Kinsey, it was developed in 3 days?
Yes, this dude made it in 3 days. I think he probably started with code for like some other generic-y type game.
But you play as Chucky the dog and have to escape the maze and get to the wagon
that's
while avoiding the
wild.
dog catcher and a scary floating bone.
I'd rather
So,
play the Sneak King.
Yeah.
Dikembe Mutombo's 4.5 weeks to save the world. Wow.
This is the most 2012 thing I could possibly think of.
So this is an Old Spice flash ad on oldspicesavestheworld.com.
He was adding time to the Mayan calendar so the world would not end in 2012.
It had tons of excellent levels, such as the Great 2012 Dance Crisis, aka Gangnam Style. I'm sad that Flash Player is gone because we no longer have gems like this in the world. That was really good, Matt.
Thanks. Pepsi Invaders. Pepsi's back, baby.
Pepsi.
So this is just Space Invaders.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
it is. So Coca-Cola made Pepsi the invading aliens, and you just destroy Pepsi.
They made it so that you literally couldn't lose. Pepsi sucked so much that you always won. When you win, it literally says Coke wins.
I like
is
this
good.
one.
I think this is literally a joke for all of the like executives, the Coke executives.
Yeah,
like,
because
"Ha,
if you guys
Pepsi."
had tried to sell this, Lawsuit City.
This is finally the only version of Space Invaders I can win.
Yeah. Taco Bell Tasty Temple Challenge.
Why is there a snake in my taco?
So this was another Doom-like game, but it was a 3D first-person action game, and it was included in kids' meals at Taco Bell. Do you remember when Taco Bell had kids' meals? You played as Baja Bill, exploring an ancient jungle temple and battling the most clip art-ass looking snakes of all time.
I could
with
make
hot
that in
sauce.
MS Paint in about 3 minutes.
What are you fighting snakes to do? To get a grande meal. Someone actually tried to sell the first NFT speedrun of Tasty Temple.
Oh my god.
They tried to sell it in 2021 for about $360, but guess what? No one took it, and now the NFTs are thankfully not a thing anymore. The California Raisins! All right, here's the thing. One of my favorite memories of growing up was like watching the California Raisins.
What are you talking about?
Raisins was like the OG in marketing. Do you not know about the California Raisins?
I mean, there's little like red boxes
All right,
that had like
so
raisins in them.
It was like claymation. They had a whole TV series. They would do like Christmas specials with the California Raisins.
What?
Yeah. Do you not know about this?
So this was never released because apparently California Raisins fell off, and they did finish the game, but apparently it was only released. There was like a beta cartridge that showed up at one point that sold for like $1,000. You could take control of an iconic California Raisin and play through the grapevine, the maze, the factory, and the juicery to collect musical notes to Grape Escape.
Here's the California Raisins featuring Michael Jackson. The California Raisins was like an institution. This makes the most sense to me out of any of these other ones.
But it never went on sale.
So, but like that's the real tragedy.
I'm shocked, appalled, and amazed. But we should move on, Matt. Because now that we've experienced the Grape Escape, it's time for us to escape into the next episode of This Is, which you can find out by subscribing and ringing the ding-a-ling button. Who knows? If you subscribe, you might just see the next episode of This Is featuring a weird grape Michael Jackson and Matt going, hee hee.
Like, follow, subscribe, let us know what other video games which are just one big secret ad or not so secret at all.
And thank you to the sponsor of this video, LTTstore.com.
We're not sponsored by them. Don't go to LTTstore.com and get a water bottle.
You can go to not.LTTstore.com. I own that domain.
I also own MattTTstore.com. You can get my bootleg Austin merch.
Hee hee.